It's the Pete Souza Show on a Friday, presented by Slovacics. Early morning start. We got to head over to Inside the 12, all things Big 12. Another huge day of the Big 12 tournament. Arizona victorious late, Texas Tech early. Houston takes care of business, and BYU continues to shock the world. We'll begin today. Of course, we're presented by Slovacics, and we're kind of on like it's like a 2-minute drill this morning, because I got to get over to tape Inside the 12, which is live from Kansas City with our good friend King McClure. We're going to break down all things Big 12. I'll share some of that content with you here, but if you have a chance to watch it, all of your Big 12 markets across the country, you can check it out. It'll be over the air tonight, Friday night, and of course, it'll get replayed. A lot to break down in the Big 12 tournament. I want to start with the Cowboys, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention all our sponsors. Slovacics, First National Bank of Central Texas. We also have D1, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, and Socorro Family Ford. Who needs Daniel Stark? The Cowboys might need Daniel Stark. They might need like Mills Lane, a referee. And here's why. Yesterday, it was official. DeMarcus Lawrence.
I'm forever going to be there. But
here's what he had to say. Hold on.
I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. So
we're still getting ready here. Okay, let's remove this. Hang with me. Removing that. We're going to add this.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're going to start.
We're here.
Check this out. DeMarcus Lawrence, strong words already heard out of Seattle after the trade. Buckle up for this one.
Yeah. Dallas is my home. I made my home there. My family lives there. I'm forever going to be there. But, I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. So, yeah. We here.
We're here. DeMarcus Lawrence, welcome to the Seahawks. Thanks for joining us.
Dallas is my home. I made my home.
Woo! So, DeMarcus Lawrence, shots fired very early in his career with the Seattle Seahawks after spending so much time with the Cowboys. Remember, he missed the last 12 games of last season with that Liz Frank injury and was just another part of the Cowboys' problems as a defense and as a team. I mean, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. And with stars like Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, that's hard to imagine. But you can only wait so long before you're going to hear from our main guy, right? Let's check out what this is what Micah Parsons had to say. Take a look. That is what rejection and envy look like. This some clown shit. That's what DeMarcus Lawrence says, okay? And he was saying that in reaction to the video. But the bottom is a real lightning rod. Call me a clown won't change the fact that I told the truth. Maybe if you spent less time tweeting and more time winning, I wouldn't have left. Woo! Okay, here's the good news, in my opinion. And I want to get Mosley on the phone to talk to him about this. He's somewhere like Puerto Vallarta or Europe or wherever, but he is overseas. Of course, he's staying dialed in with all the Baylor basketball, so he can complain to me about that over text. This is great for the Cowboys. This is like an inside job where basically someone very close to you in a personal matter is basically telling you, you are not good enough. Like, this is like when, okay, great example. It's happened to me, all right? You break up with a woman. This happened to me once. I broke up with a woman. Christy just took a dog on the walk, so now it's a good time to talk about old relationships. I broke up with a woman, or she broke up with me. We hadn't even broken up yet, actually, but something was said in the flow of a conversation where she said to me at the time, you'll never make enough money to support me anyways. I make more money than you. That's an issue. And man, I'm telling you, that stuck right in my craw and is not left since. And that's part of like the ambition and the drive that pushes me. Like, healthy? Probably not. Does it work? I think a little bit. In fact, I think my body of work would say that too. So sometimes you need a little kick in the ass. One last look at the kick in the ass. We see the text exchange right there. We see what DeMarcus said. Micah's response, right? This is what rejection and envy looks like. This is some clown shit. Let's see what he said one more time, okay?
Yeah, Dallas is my home. I made my home there. My family lives there. I'm forever going to be there. But, I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. So, yeah. We here.
We here. DeMarcus Lawrence, welcome to the Seahawks. Thanks for joining us.
Dallas is my home. I made my home.
If you're a Cowboys fan, you should be pissed, okay? I'm pissed with my new camera. I still haven't really figured out this setup yet, but we're getting there. I almost knocked the microphone over. Hope you can still hear me. So that I believe that is a good thing for the Cowboys. That could be a good thing all the way up to Jerry Jones, where he's like, we got to do something to shut these MFers up, including DeMarcus, right? Who, I don't know, man. I don't know if the Seahawks are on the schedule this year, but Cowboys fans, that's a reason to get motivated. All right, another reason to get motivated, guys like Kelvin Sampson. They outlast Colorado in the second round, or in their first round. I guess it was the quarterfinals yesterday for Colorado. Colorado was 17.5-point underdog. They covered the spread. By the way, we were 3-1 yesterday. I will come back later in the day and do some picks. But 3-1 yesterday we were. We won the early game. We won the Colorado game. We won Baylor. Were we 4-0? Oh, no. We lost the early game. We lost Iowa State. So we were 3-1. So on the tournament at this point, we are 7-5. That's good, right? Let's listen to what Kelvin Sampson had to say after the game. This is March mentality right here.
It's really important not to overanalyze anything. Just win in advance. It's really important. It's really important to win the game.
All right, here we go. Sorry again. I'm getting better at this.
When we get to this time of the year, I think it's really important not to overanalyze anything. Just win in advance. We can certainly play better, and I'm sure we will. I like that we won. It's really important. It's really important to win the game. That's what I liked. I have zero interest in spending 2 seconds about the way we play. Doesn't matter. We got a game tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and that's really all I care about.
Whose house? Coug's house. It'll be really fun to see what Houston does this year as we get into March. But yesterday, a nice sign, finding a way to win against a feisty Colorado team. Last part of today's show, we're going to end on a somber note. We're actually going to turn it over next segment and hear from Drake Toll from Locked On Big 12. But a sad day yesterday in college sports. John Feinstein passing away at the age of 69 years old. Those books changed my life. A Season Inside included Rolly Massimino. And then it was preceded by A Season on the Brink, which I kind of caught up to. I listened to Season on the Brink. I had never read it, heard about it, read excerpts. And last year or 2 years ago, I actually listened to the whole book again. And it was a bone-chilling, informative, and entertaining experience. And I would recommend anybody get that book, and I would recommend anybody listen to it because John Feinstein himself is reading the book. But one person we can hear from to wrap this show up today, here's Michael Wilbon talking about
who died suddenly today.
I can't get this. Okay.
John was one of the most successful and
This is Wilbon talking about John Feinstein.
Melancholy trails to John Feinstein, who died suddenly today at the age of 69. John was one of the most successful and consequential sports writers of the last 50 years, with bestsellers like A Season on the Brink and A Good Walk Spoiled. He was also a columnist at the Washington Post, where Tony and I were colleagues along with him for decades. He was a summer intern immediately before me. After his 3 children, the great love of John's life was Duke basketball. After that, ACC basketball. After that, college basketball and golf. It's sadly poetic that John died at the gateway to March Madness and the first day of the Players, since covering golf was his other great obsession. He was a complicated man, brimming with opinions, and anyone who knew John held an opinion about him.
Going to school here at Maryland, loved college basketball. So Michael Wilbon is covering Georgetown. Sally Jenkins is covering Maryland. I got John Feinstein constantly writing about college basketball, and I loved Season on the Brink. What an unbelievable book about Bobby Knight.
People should pick it up and read it. I've known John since I was 20. I was an intern the summer after he was an intern. And so my life was very much directed by my relationships with John Feinstein and Anthony Kornheiser.
Yeah.
And so you look at that all these years later, and it's hard to put into, and we just get this word about John suddenly passing away this morning. And the coaches, everybody's calling each other in the industry to tell stories about John. And again, they're complicated because he could be the most charming guy in the room and the guy you wanted to throw out the room, but he was always a compelling figure.
I appreciate Michael Wilbon and the honesty in that short, abbreviated obituary. That's really all the time you have for something like that on a show like PTI. But amazing stuff. We'll be back later on today with more of the Pete Souza Show. Probably do a live. But for now, I wanted to get you set up to start the day. Coming up next, Drake Toll. We're talking all things Big 12. We're talking expansion. And we're talking thank you to Socorro Family Ford. Of course,